In audio. 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 In audio.
Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to Saeed TV, and this is a Sunday Manchester United Unfiltered podcast. I'm with my brothers from another mothers. You feel me in the building? And yeah, man, Sunday night, we're best to kind of talk about football. United, me and the boys, and we got man like Double A's in the building. Double A, what are you telling me, broski? You good?
Yeah, I am. I can't. Grand scheme of things, I'm good, mate. Yeah, I can't complain. Good week, getting ready for another busy week. But in terms of United, as I said off air, mate, and we'll get into tonight, I'm very worried. I'm feeling down. I'm feeling down about United tonight, mate. Well, that's just the general scheme of things, and that's something to do with that lot over there celebrating their third title in a row. But it is what it is. We just have to look forward and concentrate on our team and what we can do to make ourselves better. But as always, thank you for having me on. Big up Saeed. Big up my man.
Always, man. Always, bro.
Big up
Come
the
on,
chat.
man.
It's always good to be on this show for sure, man. It's the therapy I need today. So yeah.
We're gonna get into it. Trust me, we don't get into everything today.
Sure, man. Sure, I need it.
Flawless. I seen you last night, so you get me. Hello again. What are you saying, bro? You good?
I'm blessed, yeah, man. Last night was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Last night was a good night still.
Bro, they're asking me about the snow buddy and that. They them man, I wanted what happened last night.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No comment. That's all I'm gonna say.
No comment. That's what I said to people.
No comment.
No comment, man. You
No
get me?
comment,
Like, what
man.
happens in the night stays in the night. You feel me? But big up to Lewis, man. Big up to Lewis. Always as well,
Lewis
man.
every single time and that.
Yeah.
Lewis.
Big up, man.
But yeah, blessed for having me as always, Saeed. Appreciate it. Big up Double A. Always good to see you, man. Large up the chat as well. I look forward to the show, despite what's going on over the road. I'm saying at Manchester City, and we've had a good. We've actually, obviously, minus that, we have had a good week, and I'm sure we'll discuss that. As always with Manchester United, there's so much going on. We are at Hollyoaks.
Yeah, always.
There's always drama, man. There's always something to talk about. It's never a quiet week, ever.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Obviously, we got a comment quickly. Obviously, Man City have won the league title again. We kind of knew that, but today they did the trophy parade and whatnot, and obviously they lifted the trophy. But that's 3 trophies in a row now for Man City. You know what? For me, it's kind of like, what do we do now? Man City, for me, will keep on doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? I think that's not... Even when Pep Guardiola leaves, I think there'll be some sort of level of success. There won't be like a downward spiral the way Man United have been for so many years. I don't think the owners at Manchester City will neglect the club like we do. There won't be suddenly money running out. There won't be suddenly a change of hierarchy. The hierarchy will still stay there. But I start off with you, Double A, but you know what I mean? It's real, man. I mean, noisy neighbours, Fergie. I know he said noisy neighbours, but they're here, man, and they're winning trophies, and it's there, man. It's there,
Mate. The 6 away from 13, aren't they? You know what I mean? It's a horrible thing to think, and people are saying it. Who is going to stop them? They are built for success, and I'm not even talking about the 11 or the 25 in the squad. The club from the bottom to the top is built for success. You said it there. You don't expect them to tail off when Pep decides he wants to go, if he decides he wants to go anytime soon. You look at what they were doing when they had Pellegrini there. They were already planning for the next manager.
Yeah,
for Pep to come in. They'll do the exact same thing when Pep. He'll inform them when he's ready to dwindle down, and they'll start looking for the next man. And it's a conveyor belt for them. They'll just carry on building that success. We could talk about the charges or whatever. It's not that's not important. On the pitch, what they're doing is what every team in the world, and it's a horrible thing because David Moyes said it. It's what every team in the world should be looking to do. Playing that brand of football, destroying teams at will, and looking to go and win a treble. We look at the Manchester United side of that, and it's mate. I've said it before, and I'll say it all the time. It makes me sound like a baby, but it's true. Why them? But all the clubs in the whole entire world, why them? Because as a United fan, and there's a difference. We've seen it on social media this season. There's a difference between certain fans from a certain part of the country to Mancunian Manchester United fans. We never want them. We didn't even want them in '99. We didn't even want them getting out of Division 2. Do you know what I mean? Or Division 1, whatever. We don't want them winning anything at all. So the fact now they are the best club, the best team in the world, potentially doing a treble, and we have to try and stop them. It's like I know you two will agree with me. It's our worst nightmare. There's nothing we would ever want for them to do anything like this. So we're in a situation we're in, and we can only do so much. They're in a situation they're in, and it's hard not to look over that way, across the road over at Bezic, and think, man, this is what we used to be. Why are we not this still? Or why can we not get back there?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're right. It's a whole host of situations. It's neglect. It's obviously the foundations have been lost with Alex Ferguson, the Busby Bays, and what they left. And obviously, ultimately, they've found a success and a formula, and they've kept at it. Listen, I can talk about the corruption, and we'll have to get to that when it comes to that. Right now, it's only alleged. And this situation here, big up Adewale says, we got to save Vinny from the racism in La Liga, swap Rashford for him in summer. Yeah, Vinny, man, not good news.
So Rashford can get it. That makes no sense.
Well,
that makes no sense on so many points. Like you just said. I didn't even think of it from that angle. And why would Real Madrid do that as well?
They won't sell him anyway. But Flawless, someone just commented there saying it's almost becoming the norm now. That's the kind of the maddest reality now. It's the norm for City to keep winning Premier League trophies while we just kind of, just look and just admire what they're doing. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's it. It's just unfortunate because we've not seen dominance like this from anybody else in the Premier League. It's always been us. The only team that's been dominant and had sustained success like this over a number of years is us. So obviously we've won a treble. We've repeated twice. The closest we've seen is Chelsea when they won it back to back under Mourinho. Outside of that, Arsenal never won it back to back. Liverpool obviously won one. We traded ones with City. And that's why it seems so bad. Adding the fact as well, it's a rivalry because it's Manchester City. So it's right on our doorstep. And we just got to stomach it. Yeah, we just that's all it is. It sucked today. I was watching the game, I did a watch along, and obviously, from a footballing fan perspective, you praised him. exceptionally run club.
Yeah, facts.
Exceptional manager, exceptional players, but they're not in the show. When I hear people say, "Oh, when are they going to lose a league again?" They've lost leagues before under Pep. It just seems that bad right now. Like Liverpool did, and somebody will pop up out of nowhere and challenge him. Like they would, they are not. They're not.
But
like,
it won't be us, and that's the problem.
No, it probably
Unless
it won't
we
be
will.
unless we get new ownership. Our new ownership
Yeah.
is so dependent. Like our short term to medium term future is dependent on who is our owners, because we mentioned it. Manchester City are not doing what Manchester City do without the structure. As good as Pep Guardiola is, as good as the players are, and that's why even though there will be a drop off after him, because you're not just going to go and get another Pep. If that structure's still in place, then that manager has the best possible platform to succeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, maybe is it slight biasness from me? Yes, not wanting to believe it, but they're not. This isn't Football Manager. They're not going to win 6, 7, 8 Premier Leagues in a row. Things will go wrong. Teams will, like Arsenal, for instance. Who expected, even though Arsenal have fallen away,
true.
who expected Arsenal to be? If we sat here right now, if we was here last year and said Arsenal are going to go and challenge for the Premier League and be top of the league for 93% of it, I'm gonna be like, what are you talking about? Are you drinking? Are you crazy? So that will always happen. They're not gonna win, people. Like I say, I think people go overboard. Yes, incredible team, one of the best we've ever seen, but they're not gonna win 6, 7, 8 Premier League titles in a row.
No, that one I could disagree with. Maybe I reckon if they win next year, then I think maybe the year after that, maybe someone might win it next. But I don't see them going winning 6, 7, 8 in a row. That's never happening there.
Yeah.
And it's
Newcastle are coming, and
Newcastle are coming. Yeah, I think
If
Arsenal.
Champions League
Don't
now,
get me wrong. Go on.
the standard of players, the level of players they'll start getting in is gonna double. They'll be looking at past Premier League or Champions League winners coming in. They're only going to get better. It's worrying for us because I'm sure we're going to touch on it.
Yeah.
If we don't get Althane, he's going to go somewhere else. That puts another.
We're going to touch on it now. Actually, I'll bring it up.
But the thing is, if they win 4 or 5 in a row, yeah, we gotta get them kicked out of the league or something. Somebody gotta find some dirt. Like we have to do something, because as I'm watching the Madrid game and they're beating Madrid, it dawned on me why rival fans hate Sir Alex so much.
Mm-hmm.
The dislike I now have for Pep, because and when I say dislike people, I'm talking about of how good he is. I understand how rival fans felt outside of being a Manchester United fan. I understand why at every given opportunity people try and disrespect Sir Alex Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? And try downplay his achievements because he made your childhoods and teenage years and adult and some of your adult years absolute hell. Because that's what it feels like now with Pep. And this is only 3 years. So imagine 2 decades of this shit of Sir Alex dominating like that. That's how I feel about Pep now. Like I have a strong, and when I say a strong dislike, people, I'm talking about solely from a football fan perspective.
Football perspective,
you're good.
He's that good. He's that good
at dominating. Yeah, you're just that good that it's annoying.
And he finds solutions.
Yes.
Well, maybe sometimes when Fergie, in certain areas, I think between 2004 to 2006, Fergie couldn't cope with the power of Jose Mourinho and the sheer kind of, you know what I mean, like the Didier Drogba's and then this World Ballax. Like he couldn't cope with it. And obviously he then had to rebuild again. Whereas this Guardiola gets Rico Lewis to play in an inverted, fullback role. And he just generates a new way of playing it. I think Ten Hag, for me, tactically, can win us a league, but you need backing and you need quality. You need body. And this is here, look, Man United owners, Manchester United owners, the Glazer family are considering delaying a decision about whether to sell the club until the end of the season, sources have told ESPN. I'm just going to read a little bit of a thread here. It then continues on to say, staff were told in March to expect clarity on the ownership situation by the end of campaign at the latest, but sources have told ESPN that they are now concerned that the Glazers are delaying a decision until the end of the season. One of the reasons for the delay, according to one source, is that the Glazers are still trying to come to an agreement about their future with United, particularly those with because of Joel and Avram Glazer are reluctant to give up their stake. Erik ten Hag is hoping for a successful summer transfer with a positive first season in charge, but that would be complicated by ongoing uncertainty around the club's ownership. It's one of them, innit? Like, this is the levels, innit? Certain men are winning trebles and we can't get rid of we can't sort out this situation with the owners. That's the problem. Until we do that, until we kind of get to some sort of situation, You know what I mean? It's peak, man. And yes, they're saying by the end of the season, that's next week. But bro, we should have done this by, I'd say, end of March. What would you say would be a reasonable time? Because we heard about this in November. Let's be real there. November all the way until, let's say, we're talking about March. How many months is that? That's 5 months? 4 months? Like, that's a
The
long time,
Athletic,
bro, to sort something out like this.
the Athletic were saying end of March, and but what we know from the Glazers is, and I think the only word that we can describe this whole mess, this whole embarrassing saga that we've been dragged through the mud with since November, like you say, is greed. They want to squeeze as much as they can. They're saying recycling news there. There's two ways to look at this news coming out. It's that you can look at it on the negative side, which means they want to see where we are with if at the end of the season, Champions League, maybe an FA Cup. Also, at the end of the season, there's no more games. They can sneak out the news. We're staying. So Jim's going to be coming in. We can't do anything about it. We can't protest. We can't stop any games. That's all done. They can go away for the summer, hoping that, dropping 200 million on players again can get them over the line, and everyone comes back in August. Ready to go, because we back the manager and he's got a couple of players that he wants. Or you can look at it on the positive side, which I'm going to try to do. I'm not going to try to be so negative and let it get me down. Maybe the delaying, because the four siblings are trying to convince Joel and Avram that it's time to go. This new Al Thani bid has come in, and maybe that stirred the pot a little bit. And now they're like, right, we know you wanted the 50%, and that you wanted to have your 20% and stay. We now think a full sale is in the best interest for everyone, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe they're trying to convince them to let go, and it's going to take a little bit of time for them to do that. I'll try and be positive rather than negative, and say hopefully that means that Al Thani's done the trick with this last bid, and it's a case of right. Let's. It's 18 years. Let's lead them to it. They've got a plan for this club. We can't match that. We can't do what is needed to take this club to the next level. And let's move on. And hopefully that's the problem. The cynic in me and the realist in me says they're probably going to stay. But I'm going to look on the positive side. Let's get rid of the Glazers.
You know what? It's very difficult to think about any positive. And this is where the toxic positivity crew come in. Because they're always saying to you, be positive. But nothing's really been positive from the Glazers for the last 10 years. So that's one thing as well. And we've seen delays in this situation. We've seen bids that have not been there. We've seen third round bids, fourth round bids. So for those that are saying be positive, I don't think there is a positive in this. The positive is that maybe at the start of the kind of situation, they said they were planning to kind of sell the football club. That's a positive. That's something that where in January I said, okay, then Veghorst is coming. We don't have any money. Fair enough. Then I said, you know what? For the greater good, I'll wait to the end of the season. Season's pretty much done in terms of we're getting top four and probably a trophy. Okay, fair enough. You know what I mean? But now, it's got to the point now where you see what Man City are doing. You're seeing that next season, Pochettino's going to come in and it's going to be major improvement everywhere else. There's a lack of strikers out there in the market. Everyone seems to be going for the same midfielders. You've got to basically do this right now, or then what we're doing in the summer. You know what I mean? We're prolonging everything. And that's my issue. You see what I mean? Like that's where the kind of the thought process comes in, is that we haven't got time. Like, we've got time for the owner to come in, identify what he wants, restructure the football club, and then go on, let's crack on with the manager now. There's time, but there's not enough time when you look at it, really. Let's be honest.
Pardon me. It's far from ideal in regards to, you mentioned it there, the infrastructure that we would like the new owners to come in and put in place, and then it gives Ten Hag the best possible opportunity to identify what he wants and to go and get it. However, as long as the new owners come in and it is Sheikh Jassim, even if it's late this summer, that's better than Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in early. You know what I'm saying? And being at the club, being at the club early. Yeah, like we have to, like I just said it just before, our short-term and medium-term future relies on the Glazers selling to Sheikh Jassim. So then we at least have, one, the finance to compete with everybody else, and two, the infrastructure as well. The reason why I think we will get sold to Sheikh Jassim is because multiple things. One, we know the Glazers are money grabbing crooks. Sheikh Jassim has the money. We know that for a fact. And number three, there's been conversations as well. That's one thing. There's been interaction. You see in Sheikh Jassim leaving, not Sheikh Jassim, it was one of the Glazers leaving the hotel chain. So the fact they're in conversation is good. When it comes to Twitter and reports, most people, big up to Andy, I've said it before, most people are guessing. This is why I don't take any reports on board. Like, we all have this Saeed, man will be streaming, I'll be on a stream late afternoon and it's Sheikh Jassim is the preferred bidder. Then I get off that stream and then during the night it's Jim Ratcliffe. Then I'm doing an NBA stream late at night and then then more news will break saying there's no preferred bidder, nobody's front runner for the club. Because people just be guessing. Someone said in the comments about that in particular person remixing the news, and that's what a lot of people do. If you go down people's Twitter timelines who are supposedly reporting
you're right.
They just be remixing and saying one thing in the morning, saying else in the afternoon, something else in the evening, something else in the nighttime. There's very few people who know exactly what is going on, and I think it's just a lot of guesswork. But like I stated, because of the fact that how the Glazers are, the person with the most money, I can see them selling to. So it might be what Double A saying, and they're trying to. The four Glazers are trying to convince the other two, or however many of them there is, to sell up and say it's time, which it is time to sell. So it's like, just move on.
Yeah.
What are you staying for? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Yeah. I'm lost.
Yeah. Big up Andy in the building. Andy, how are you, mate? Everything all good?
Yeah, that's why I took a fortnight off to get away from this all. It's draining. It's draining, physically draining. That's why I took it off.
Yeah, same. Double A was saying that just now.
It gets in there. It really does. It affects you. And I know people deal with it in different ways, but it's physically draining every day. It's the same old recyclable crap from the media. Every day, spin this, spin that. You just want to get away from the family. I bet them who want to sell are really getting wound up from the other two, Avram and Joel. I bet they really are getting wound up, and I'm sure, like you say, there's some nasty verbals been talked about between them. You know what I mean? It's like maybe them four. Was it one of them's called Darcy, the girl? She's got morals. She's actually got a brain, and fair play to her. The others. It's just about money. Cash your chips out at Vegas and just get out. It's just enough's enough, man. But like you say, the gut feeling is now they're going to leave it until after the cup final.
Yeah.
So if we win it, it'll be like that. It eases it in. It eases it in if they stay on. If we lose it, Jesus Christ, do you want to announce that and let Jim take the flak? You announce that on a Monday. Man City's on the verge of a treble. Announce it on a Monday. Let Jim Ratcliffe take the heat. And we'll disappear to the Cayman Islands for about 2-3 months. Keep our heads low. And like you say, we'll the Operation Bullshit PR spin comes out from Ineos. Yeah. So I was all for Jim in August. But like I say, he's signed with the devil. He's in bed with the enemy. Sod you, Jim. I've had enough. I've totally had enough of you.
I think the signs were there in August. You know, you look back now and he, you know, he was saying the nice people. I want to buy it, but they don't want to sell.
Exactly.
They're clues to what has allowed him to get in bed with them. You know, I do like them. I've met them. They're nice. I can't afford. They don't want to sell it. I can't afford to buy it. I can't afford to buy it. If they don't want to sell, I can't buy. But if they want to partially sell, which they've been trying to do for 2 years anyway, that's my way in. They've heard that and thought, well, you know, we're looking for this injection of cash. Let's see what he's about and what he can do. And he's pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. He's lied to everyone, saying he wants to do it. This line about put the Manchester back in Manchester United.
Man,
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, it's the biggest load of nonsense.
He said he could buy Prime, his stake. He could buy steak with the Glazers. Well, all he can afford is a fucking Happy Meal. That's what he is.
He's getting the horse burgers from Tesco. That's how bad he is. You know what I mean? Nothing about him.
It's one of them. I think ultimately, like I said, it's a waiting game. I think the fans are waiting game, but I think the big journalists, like maybe the David Orneses, have kind of made have a cautious approach. You're going to get this spin, like Flawless says, from the so-called lesser journalists who are trying to spin stories. So it's again just waiting, innit? Wait game while Man City and whoever kind of keep pushing forward, man. Right now is the time to bridge the gap. If you go and get Qataris in, you bridge the gap, you get some injection of money, you get a restructured football club. There's hope. You get your gym in, and listen, mate. You know what I mean. While the Glazers still there with 20% stake, it's game over. Man.
Yeah, next season we're just fighting for 4th, maybe 5th. That's it. Next season, because I say to that, they want another Premiership club. If Qatar don't get United, they may look at Tottenham or West Ham.
Yeah.
So maybe is that no more PR spin? I don't know. I've heard so.
In the West Ham one, I don't know. Who is that source, by the way? Who was it? Like, does anybody know the source of that guy?
Spanish paper.
Yeah, it's come from a Spanish source.
Spanish paper.
I thought it was
how do they know about
tomato sauce
Qatari
from
news?
Here we are.
It's not a reliable Spanish newspaper, but they just put it out there. You know, any grade A journalist who wants to get a little bit of credibility will just put out some lies and bullshit just to generate some interest.
I think it'll happen. There's no way if they don't get United, they're going to walk away from this now.
Exactly.
You know, there's several teams there that are,
so it's okay. It's okay if they buy West Ham and Tottenham, but if it's Man United, they got morals. You know
I want to see all these think pieces about how moral it is.
Moisey can have Qatari money. Moisey, it's okay for Moisey, isn't it? Yeah.
Fellaini will be back in the Prem in no time, mate. Let me tell you.
Go get the band back together. That's what
Cahill coming out of retirement and all that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But listen, I wish I could talk about the Glazers all day, but we're going to talk about Anthony Martial, another interesting topic that's spoken about in the fan base. I don't know if you see the reaction yesterday, guys, of him getting subbed off. He walked to the tunnel, but apparently Ten Hag said he came back. But I don't know, man. It's a bit of a weird one, you know. I looked at it and I thought there's a lot of people online saying, you know, it's similar to like obviously the Ronaldo situation. He kind of eased him out and whatnot, and he kind of, you know, bit by bit, he was giving him less game time. But what minute did he come on? By the way, what minute was it? Was it 55? Was it 60 minutes?
The chat will know anyway, but it was sometime like in the second half. Yeah,
it was between 50.
Yeah, man, let the sneeze go, fam, man. It's your
time. You know what? I was in there, but I held it in the
You want that? I sneeze, man, cough, yawn, eat. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying?
No, it was. I thought it was there, innit? I thought it was there, but it wasn't there.
I'm a professional, man. This is Saeed TV. Sneeze.
But it was. You know what it was? It wasn't there. I thought it was coming out, but it wasn't there.
Oh, you were trying to fight?
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah. But what are we saying about Martial's situation now? Because I don't know, man. I feel like for me, that looks like to me the end of the road. If you can't trust him for 90 minutes, he ain't gonna play 90 minutes again. Like I think it's done, you know, man. I really do, man. Like he can't trust him to play 90 minutes. Like so, it's time to move on now. Weghorst's coming on at the 60th minute when you kind of need to close the game down. I know he wants pressing and whatnot, but what are you guys thinking?
It's been done. Like, we didn't need this game to know that Martial was like, and it's not like he was bad in the game. I don't think he was bad, but overall, we know Martial. Like, when is the last time Martial had an exceptional game? And I'm someone who's a fan of Martial. I've defended Martial in the past.
Yeah.
12 minutes in a Manchester derby. That was it.
Yeah, like when's the last time we could say we've been on it and we've watched the game and went, you don't necessarily have to be the best player for us, but you say Martial was exceptional today. He was 8, 9, 10 out of 10. What a performance. I don't know if it's the injuries that have taken their toll, but to me, he just don't even look the same anymore. He don't even look the same. I don't know what it is, but we know we need strikers anyway. And I use that with a plural people. Strikers, not one. We need actually ideally 3 if you do move on Martial, because Weghorst won't be here either. So yeah, it's been done with Martial.
Yeah.
That's what I think anyway.
I said on this show a few months ago, he was like that love of your life that keeps cheating on you, and I keep going back because she's buff, and I keep that girl's now pregnant. So for me, it's game over. I don't want to know.
So she does. You don't talk about because it's personal. That's why you want to keep her.
She's done.
That's what it is.
It ain't my kid.
She's good at summer, but you won't talk about it.
I'm done. Martial, the problem with Martial is he just doesn't seem interested in it. And I've never seen a number 9 just get further and further away from the box. I've watched him 3 or 4
Yeah,
times.
I know.
He's withdrawing, and he's so many times balls are getting flashed into the box. We don't make chances anyway, so when balls go into the box, your striker needs to be there, and he's not there. And you know, we could talk about injury record all we want, and it, you know, it is absolutely shocking for a professional footballer. For whatever reason, you know, everyone's saying he doesn't look like he's coming back the same player, which I agree with. He probably should have gone maybe two seasons ago, and like this club likes to do, it likes to hang on to players far longer than they should.
Jose was right.
You know, we've lost 3 strikers and replaced them with Weghorst, which, you know, I mean, that sentence alone would not make you cry as a Manchester United fan. Ronaldo, Cavani, the number 11 have all gone, and we replaced them with Weghorst, who, for me, is the worst striker in the Premier League. I don't think he gets in any other starting. He won't even get in Southampton's team. He's absolutely terrible. He runs around. He runs around, and he's available. The two big attributes that people throw in your face about him, and he can sing. All right.
That's a good thing. He does more than Martial does.
Wait, he can sing. What did I miss?
Oh, you've not heard Weghorst sing?
Yeah, I've not heard
got
that.
I've never heard him sing.
The guy's got pipes.
Oh, he can sing exceptionally.
Bro,
Okay,
he's a good singer, bro.
I did not know this.
That's
When
the
you
best
said
thing
it,
about him.
He can lead the FA Cup charge if we win. Yeah, let him his way out.
Adiwali says here, I thought Martial was playing fine, to be honest. Sub was strange. That being said, we need 2 strikers this summer. I don't think he was playing bad before the substitution. You know, when the minute, like the first little 10 minutes, he had a little 1-2 give and go. I just thought to myself, what has made him change that at that point? Like, I don't think we were getting pressed. I don't think Bournemouth were pressing us. I think something must have irritated Ten Hag. Like, genuinely. I genuinely think someone must have irritated him.
Yeah, it did seem like a strange decision because, like you said, we as a professional performance, we looked more likely to score a second than they did to equalize. And Martial, like I said, to me, he wasn't playing exceptional, but we were playing overall good as a team. So it was a strange one to me. I want to picked out Martial and said, I don't think anyone at that point, any of the attackers, deserve to come off at that point. So it is strange. Maybe I don't know if it is managing his minutes.
It's just the reaction he did, wasn't it? It was just the reaction. The cameras on him. It was like a bulldog chewing a wasp.
Yes. You know? And it was almost as if like this wasn't plan. You know, if there was a plan, this wasn't the plan. Like, okay. It was almost like one of them ones where, you know, we normally agreed like 75 minutes.
1,000 words.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And obviously he went down the touchline. He probably came back and was advised not to do so. He came back to the dugout. But I think that's for me a bit of a concern when, you know, Ten Hag spoke highly of him. You know, I think maybe he's had enough, Ten Hag, in terms of players not giving him what he needs in terms of the forward line. I think the forward line are massively letting him down at the minute. I don't know about you guys here, but we talked about Sancho last night on my show. Obviously Anthony now at the minute still not producing enough for me in terms of what we paid for what we need as output. You're looking at, you know, the level right now is set right now. You're seeing Foden off the bench. You're seeing Alvarez coming on the pitch. We should have got him last season, but again, the Glazers were late to do that. You know, the output that we're having, these guys are not producing, and that's why they're not. He's not happy, man. He ain't happy.
But Saeed, are they letting us down, or are they just not good enough? I don't think they're letting us down. They're just not good enough. I think if any of our attackers take out Anthony, because he signed Anthony and Anthony is his first season, so I'll give you a little bit of a blinder. If any of these are attackers were at any other club, would Ten Hag go and sign them? Would any of us want us to go and get them?
No.
There you go. Who we jumping up and down saying, yeah, go and get such and such if they was elsewhere? Maybe Rashford, because I do think he has had an exceptional season this season because he's carried our attack. But the rest, all our wide players, 10s, strikers, none of them. I'm not saying, let me go bring Bruno to my club. Let me go get Martial. Let me go get Weghorst. Yeah, because Garnacho's young. I give Garnacho a blight because Garnacho.
He's an exception.
Yeah, Garnacho has, but like that. Let me take out the players of first season. So Garnacho's first full season, Anthony. I'm saying the regulars who have been here.
I mean, how many of our team would get into Man City's title winning side? Nobody. Maybe Rashford. That's it.
I don't think Rashford won't even touch bench. He won't even touch the bench.
You know what? Maybe Casemiro. I think Casemiro can get in there.
Casimir's a shout.
I think.
Casimir's
Do you know what? I
a
think
maybe.
Shaw will get in the squad because he's a.
No, I don't think so. I'll be honest
I
with
think he
you.
would.
No, I don't think
on
so.
this season, I think he will get in the squad for sure.
I think Nathan Ake's top quality, man. I think we're
But
underestimating Nathan Ake.
but then you look at Laporte. I don't think Laporte's had a great season, and Ake
Yeah, true.
kept that in the side.
Martinez,
They don't have that.
Yeah, Martinez is definitely you could see him because Martinez can be
Martinez,
the end there
definitely,
thing. He's good enough on the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe on the ball. You know what? I think with what our team is, it's just not the standard when you look at it. Like I love Bruno Fernandes, but is he part of a title winning squad? I'm not gonna lie to you, not for me, because you don't perform in a big six games. If you don't perform in the big 6 games, for me, if I'm Bruno Fernandes, you're not that for me. These guys perform in big 6 games. De Bruyne is the level that I need to look at. He's the barometer. You're looking at Fred, again, performs whenever he wants to. You know what I mean? Eriksen, again, a bit part player. You know, we've got a lot of players in our team who are just not performing this season, like, consistently. And if you don't have that, then... And if the guys on the bench don't do the same, that's why you lost, man. That's why you lost. It's simple as that.
We know how, because we've spoke about it literally on the show all year about our squad and how far away it is. We all know that these players are not good enough. We know this because when we start talking transfers, we name 7, 8, 9, 10 players, sometimes more. We're naming full 11s plus bench. Like, that's how short we are. This is why, even when we've won and I've been on the show, why I'm still critical, because it's like, just because you win doesn't mean you play well. Like Bruno, you mentioned it there. I've been criticized on here for criticizing Bruno after we've won. And it's like, not only till he has a poor game, people are like, all right, I get why you criticize him. But just because you play well and win doesn't mean that it's all, well, just because you win doesn't mean you played well. You can lose a game and play well. Same way you can win a game and play poorly or play average. But it's like people do too much results-based analysis and only look at the stat in the top left-hand corner. It's like when we played Brighton, for instance. The game we lost against Brighton, we were actually better against them. But because we got through to the FA Cup final, no one was talking about the performance. The performance wasn't good. And eventually that type of thing catches up with you. And we've seen it this season. So why we lost the 2 games recently to Brighton and West Ham. Why we've been battered at times. Because you can't perform poorly and just keep giving the ball up. And even Spurs, look at the second half in that. Can't just keep giving the ball away and keep giving the ball away. Because eventually that will catch up with you. Yeah. And it has. That's why I praise Ten Hag. That's what I praise him for.
That comment says we don't have a real number 10. We do. We've just not played him there all season long. He's played as an 8 and he can't play as an 8. We have got a 10. We've actually got
Eriksen.
Yeah. Eriksen's not played 10 once.
But you know what the problem is? He's our best number 8.
And that's a problem. Yeah,
you say that, and then there was them couple of games when Bruno was playing a 6 as an 8, and he looked absolutely outstanding when Casemiro was out. And
the only problem with me though,
that's an experiment to try.
But the thing with me is when we need an actual number 10 to play the big game, Bruno Fernandes has always drifted out wide to accommodate other situations. And I get maybe that's maybe a kind of a look at how bad our forwards are, because he's then having to play on that right hand side because he's got more discipline. He can play better in the system. But it just shows you, that we don't have players who, no matter what, Kevin De Bruyne will play number 10 or play in that role. Like, no matter what. They could have any injury they want in the world, Kevin De Bruyne is playing in that 10 role. And that's what I want to see for me. I'm just going to read the super chat here. He said, no real number 10 is our problem. Martial comes back to help link and make plays. Put a 10 in there and he doesn't come back as much. I'm not going to lie to you. I think he does it either way, man. I think he's that sort of player. I generally think he's just that sort of player. I don't think, like I said to you, if you go and get like a Vlahovic, Ivan Toney, Harry Kane. No, Harry Kane actually drifts in as well. You go and get an out-and-out Osimhen, for example. That will be an out-and-out number 9. You know what I mean? We need an out-and-out number 9, and that's the key question. You seen Harry Kane, what he did yesterday? And you know what I mean? And that's the levels, isn't it? You know what I mean? But again, how are we going to deal with that quickly is going to be up to us, isn't it? Really? So, Adiwale says here, gonna be here once United fans realise Bruno Fernandes is not good enough at football. We need to stop hyping up our players. They're not not good. They are not good to me. I think ultimately, it's a damning reality of the squad, really. You know what I mean? I think midfield wise, there's a lot to do. Striking options, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do everywhere, man. I don't think I can look at a position and think, we're set. You can't look at a position we're set.
Only the wide spots. Only the wide places. That's it. With Rashford, Garnacho, Diallo coming back, and Anthony. They're the only positions I look at and I go, yeah, I like that. Other than that, we need, whether it's recruitment for first team players, squad players, or both. We do. That's how far behind we are.
Yeah, I
That's
think
the
half
main
that squad will start their first Premier League game come August. Easy.
You really think
Easy.
so?
We don't sell players either. So who's going? Like,
Who's
Let me ask you a question, Billy.
exactly.
Why is Pelestri getting a new deal? I don't understand that as well. Like, because he's not getting any game time, and then he's staying here till 2028. That one I found odd as well, because I thought
Because
to
you're
myself,
an asset, an expendable asset.
I don't mind him being, because he plays wide right. If he is back up to Anthony and Diallo, I don't really mind Pelestri like that, because he's like third choice essentially. You say.
I think he signs a deal and goes on loan next season.
Yeah, we got no. The thing is, I would keep him though.
I think every time he's played this season, he's not disappointed me. He's looked.
No, he's not. I rate him.
When you have the attributes, when you're just quick and direct, which he is, you're going to be effective. That's what it is with Garnacho. We've seen it with Garnacho. When you are talking about pace and power, like when you are electric like he is, and you're direct, and you're just a willing runner, and you will run in behind and spinning behind, you will be effective. And Pelestri gives you that. So if he's there as backup, I'm not really having too much of an issue with it.
It's wild though, this football
We
club.
got pressing.
Do any other club do this? Like, do any other club just
You
give a
don't
contract?
know what's going to happen, guys, next season. Mason Greenwood might even come back. I would not put it beyond the realms of possibility with the way this club is being
run. You never know with this club, facts. You never know.
That's all I'm going to say on that.
No, you're right. This club will always tell you that you don't know what's going on at this football club.
But yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, I'm just going to read the actual tweet from Fabrizio Romano. And by the way, there's 1,000 people here, and we've not even hit 500 likes. I don't know what's going on, but guys,
Come
man,
on, guys.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah, man, come on, people. But it says, understand Man United are now in advanced talks to extend Facundo Pelestri's contract until 2028. Plan very clear for Pelestri that's key there. Plan very clear for Pelestri while Ahmad dreams of Man United first team chance next season. More on 50 million late smart deals. I don't know what that one means, but yeah, listen, very clear for Pelestri plan. So it must be a loan then. Surely it must be a loan. And then maybe sell him off and then be a profit kind of thing. I don't know.
I think it's a Premier League loan next season. See how he does, and he's still young enough. Comes back into the team. You know, is that give Sancho one more season and he'll be gone at the end of that season. We can replace him with Pelestri. I don't know. It is him and Ahmad were very two strange signings in the first place. You know, we were meant to be going for Sancho. Ollie got let down, didn't get him, and we went and bought them two, who most people had never even heard of, come in and never played. And then they've just been shipped out on loan, the pair of them, for a few years.
Ahmed's been brilliant.
Oh, he has.
We
knew something was there. You know, we were told something was there. He come on, his debut, scored a header against Milan. And as the way with Manchester United, you don't see these players again, or they're not played, or they're not trusted to do anything. And, you know, we got fed, you know, the same 11 every single time, and it's similar now when we need change.
Did the same with Dan James. Did the same with Dan James. Never played him when we were needed a player to chip in.
I think that was a smart decision, though, to be fair. I think that was a smart decision.
But it's the principle, though, isn't it? You know,
it's the principle. You buy a player. Say he's right. If you buy a player and you're not using him, what's the point of even bringing him in? All right, he wasn't caught up for the job, but what's the point of spending £18 million? And it's just like Ahmed, just sitting on a bench doing nothing. It's the same thing.
There's got to be a plan for Diallo.
Yeah, because when we played Diallo, like even a few times, I was impressed. When Ollie played him a few times, I know he scored the goal against AC Milan in the Europa League, the first leg, and every time I watched him, I was like,
you like technical players. He's one of them.
Did he play false nine against Wolves at the end of the season as well?
He did.
1-0 against Wolves. He played false nine. He was outstanding.
So it's kind of like that's good. Like it's competition for places. So him and Anthony for that right hand side is good. I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's two players I see there. I'm like, it makes sense. It does make sense. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. I think he's a fan of Pelestri. I think he likes his temperament. I think he likes his attitude. I think he likes his his the way he's willing to learn. I think Facundo Pelestri can actually mold him into a player that can fit in a system and want to work for the manager. I generally do. And that's why he likes him. You know, and he's not, and also he didn't let him go out on loan. There was a feeling of he wanted to let him out on loan. He didn't let him go out on loan. He didn't let Elanga go out on loan. Obviously, Elanga then obviously it hasn't worked out for him. I think he's tested a lot of these players, saying you're not going out on loan because I want to see what you're like. If you're not getting opportunities, are you training well? Are you doing the right things well? Are you coping with adversities? Are you coping with the fact that you're not playing? And when you come on the pitch, are you impacting the game? Garnacho does that, and he likes him. So you've got to be able to know when football's all about highs, but it's also all about lows as well. Like, you know, you can't just have it all, can you? You know, so that's the way I kind of look at it for me. But I think technically, I think it's amazing. I think he's one of our best players in terms of him, Ahmad, and then Garnacho. Technically, I'm looking at them thinking, you know what? They've got that PMP nature. They can do it. They can actually fit into the squad, and there's a place for them because I don't think in our team we lack a lot of technical players. We don't. We really don't.
Mad. It's mad. You just mentioned three absolute, potential top class players there. Or Ahmad, Palestri, and Garnacho. I imagine only one of them is going to make it United. And that's not because, and I'm not saying who that's going to be, because I just think, we're just not built to bring these young players in and give them enough chances to stay in the team. I think probably Rashford is the main one. You could say the last few years. I'm not going to mention McTominay because he's not a success.
It's Sancho. Sancho's on borrowed time. He's on borrowed time.
He's got next season, and that's it. I think that's it next season.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If someone gave me the money right now, I'd sell him, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What would we get for him? 30 million.
I think you could get 60 million for him.
You get 50. I think you can get 50.
Go back to Borussia Dortmund if they win the Bundesliga, back in the Champions League.
You could definitely do a loan, though. You have to do a loan with a view to buy over a 2-year period. That's what it would be. So it would be a loan, and then you buy it over a 2-year period. I'm not gonna lie to you guys here. I love Sancho, but I just can't see it working at the Premier League. If I'm proven wrong, I swear to you, I hold my hand up and say, you know what, fair play. But I just look at him and I think he's not suited to the style of this Premier League. It's not, and that's not down to him. It's not. He's talented, but sometimes you just look at it and think, you know what?
But you know what? Do you know what, Saeed? I think it is down to him because he doesn't look like he cares. He's another Martial. Where's the?
No, I think he does care, but he just can't do it though. The PMP nature, double A. Sometimes you've either got it or you don't. Like when he's on the ball, it looks like right. He's going at them. He's going up, but then he's not direct enough. You can't get past him. And then when it gets to the physical battles, you don't want it. It's like you've got. Look at Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is probably the same height, if not smaller than him. But you see him getting stuck in, enjoying the physical battles. You see him doing everything like that.
And I would give you that. If he tried, I'd give you that. I don't see him try. So that makes me think he doesn't care. I could take a player trying to take people on and failing and then having to do something else, but he falls at the first hurdle, mate. He doesn't look like he's like you might be right in that he's not fit for the Premier League because he just hasn't got it. He hasn't got that fight, and we need fighters. We can't afford a luxury player, and he seems like a luxury player that can't afford the luxury. And he's got an 18-year-old there that's coming in, and he's got another young player coming in from a loan that will have him not even sitting on the bench next season if he's not careful.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think for me, like I said, I think it just comes down to understanding where we're at with certain players and being open and honest. And for me, I'm just trying to be open and honest. You know what I mean? And that's the main thing for me. I just want to be open and honest and say, you know what? It's not worked out now. We move on now because we haven't got time to waste, man. That's where, for me, my kind of line comes in. I think some people do care. I think some people do want to try for the football club. It's okay to say, you know what? It's not worked out. That's all it is. It's not worked out. We move on. We buy better players. And that's to most of these lot that are in the football club. It just doesn't matter, you know? And to also address this super chat here, Adwale, I think Double A, you mean coming from a point of, you know what, when it's time to kind of get stuck in there, it's a different situation. Maybe he doesn't feel like he wants it as much. Is that what you're trying?
Oh, yeah, he's not got the fight. He's not got that fight, and we need
that.
Comfort zone.
Like I said,
he's in the
comfort zone. That's just like with them two. And like I said, we don't know him, so this is all guesswork. That's just the character of Sancho. My biggest issue with Sancho isn't his lack of effort or lack of fight. It's more so, trying things. Like I'd like to see him try to take his player on more.
Yeah.
That's where it is. I don't think that's lack of effort or lack of fight. That's just his style of play. I've said this. Do I think he's super talented? Yes. I think he's successful elsewhere. I just don't think he's a wide player in the modern day era. Like I think you struggle.
You think Anthony's got the same?
Well, he was
No,
doing
but I think Anthony's more that.
it in the Bundesliga and Champions League though. So where's that gone?
He wasn't. No, it
Where's
was
that
more
gone?
giving goals though. He wasn't really like he would take on his man more, but it wasn't as much. Like he's not a take. Like Anthony is not Anthony. Sancho is not a take on winger. He's a combination player. He's given goals. That's more his game. So yeah, that's what it is. Now with Anthony, he's much more direct. He's much more tenacious.
The thing is with Anthony though, can he give us the output as well though? Because he wasn't great.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue. His output and his GNA. But I've seen improvements from him recently, even though we still need to see more improvements. Because a lot of people talk about, oh, he's 140. I've seen him over the past number of weeks now using his right foot. So whether it's for shots, whether it's for crosses, whether it's for passes, 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, he wasn't doing that. Again, people, yes, there's levels to go, but Anthony still has to improve. So I want to see more from him, more so next season. But I've seen him cutting on his left foot like we all have and take shots and try and combine with other players. But I've seen him on numerous occasions go down the outside. I've seen him kick it down the outside and take players on, which is good. He has that directness and that tenaciousness, and he's got skills to go with it as well. Step overs, dropping the shoulders, and I think football's a system game. So in a system with better players around him, which I expect us to do, I expect Manchester United to sign players. We'll see more from him. 100%, we'll see more from him. Great ball carrier as well and press resistant. That's Anthony.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, I like Anthony. Yeah, that's just me though.
Yeah. Like today, De Jong was speaking as well. Obviously, he's still. You know what I mean? The journalists I keep asking him, you want to come to United or, they're calling, but he wants to stay, you know what I mean? Yeah, but I'm looking at that one midfielder this summer, and I want to see us target for me too. I know a lot of people are saying one, but I think we need 2 midfielders, man.
We need 3. We need 3.
2 midfielders, man. Exactly 3 if we can. You know what I mean?
We desperately need 3. We need a backup to Casemiro.
We're shopping at Aldi this summer, mate. We ain't going Waitrose.
It's Rabiot. Kane, Rabiot, Kim Min Jae. That's our 3 players this summer.
Kim Min Jae's gonna happen at the end.
We'll get Kim Min Jae in July when his finger kicks in. His 40 million finger kick. I can't think of the word, but that kicks in, and then Rabiot claws. That's the one. And then Rabiot on a free. That'll be us, mate. 140.
Rabiot, by the way, is rejected his contract, so he's on his way here, man. He's on his way here. Big up Aduwale here. Generous donation says, what I'm hearing is player preference. Players like Martial and Sancho don't run around like headless chickens. Don't mean they're not trying. You don't see Grealish or Maris doing that either, but the system allows those players to shine. The thing is with Man City is that they have a system, but they also have players who are multifaceted, you know what I mean, and are multidimensional in what they do. Bernardo Silva's played left back this season. Left back. Do you see our players doing? Could you see our players doing that? No. But when Ten Hag has his talent, when Ten Hag builds his own team, he will be able to have that element of risk. But right now, with the players that he's got, he's not able to do that. I'm sorry, he can't do that. He can't tell Casemiro to get the ball on the half turn and receive it and do the De Jong situation. It's not going to happen. That's why he wanted De Jong. But the best available option was after that was Casemiro. Obviously, it's not a bad option, but it's not what he can do. It's polar opposite in terms of player profile. Profile, De Jong press resistant. Casemiro ain't press resistant. I know he can pass and whatnot, but there's a lot of time this season where
he's not of the level of De Jong. They complement each other. They complement each other very well. Like if you put them both together,
exactly.
And balance in midfield, because what De Jong is very good at, Casemiro's not, and vice versa as well. But with the super chat, that's what I was stating in terms of personality. Like that's what it is. Like Sancho and Martial are just like that. They seem, when you just look them just walking around and just training and stuff, they're just laid back characters. You ain't really gonna get what you'll get from, say, a Bruno or an Anthony, which is cool. But this is all what we're talking about. It's all about performance. Because if they were performing to a certain level, no one's talking about body language. Because when Berbatov was here was performing to a certain level, no one was talking about his body language. You know what I'm saying? Nobody mentioned it, and he is even more laid back than those two. I'm saying, like, he was hailed for not running at times. But then when he performed poorly, people would talk about, no, it's about talent and
very
skill.
Lazy, but technically gifted.
Yeah, but when he was scoring hat tricks against Liverpool, no one were talking about his body language
Exactly.
and him being lazy and and things of these nature. But that's
It's
just
when things are going bad,
Berbatov's
isn't
character.
it?
It's when
we get
things are going
frustrated.
bad. So we talk about Antonio Valencia. Like he never smiled. People didn't talk about this when he was performing well. Didn't celebrate all these type of things. Oh yeah.
You won't argue with him the size of them arms. You mad?
Yeah. This guy was ripped, man.
You better pick your
You
balls.
see that picture of him the other day on Twitter? He signed a picture for a giveaway. Bro, his arms are still mad. He's not aged. He's built different. Let me say. Built different, Saeed. He's built different.
Yeah. Listen, I can't say them words anymore, man. United are not built different, mate. We fizzled out, mate. We fizzled out, man. Zamias is back with his credit card. Andy's back now. He said Andy will finish higher than United next season. Rice's ass.
Where's my bottle? Where's my prime bottle? I bottled it. I bottled it.
Yeah,
sorry, man.
Arsenal, man. What
I had 5 bottles of prime, and they all got bottled into the bin. Sorry, man. Sorry,
man. Sorry.
What happened to the Arsenal title charge, Zayn, man? Disappeared like you. You know what I'm saying? Where have you been?
You know what I'm saying?
Since they started dropping points, where have you been? What's going on,
yeah,
Zayn?
Man. Zayn, man, it ain't easy for Zayn, man. I'm telling you now, man. It ain't easy, man. Exactly. But you know what? I think as well, top 4's kind of secured as well, lads. 1 point from 6 games. And listen, if we bottled at me, I'm not even remotely anywhere near anyone. I'm going and I'm flying away. There's one thing seeing a treble, but then imagine bottling it in play Europa League, man. That's crazy. That's wild.
Beat Newcastle. That will go to the last day of the season for Liverpool, because Newcastle's got Chelsea away. That will come.
Yeah, that's 3 points for Newcastle then.
Chelsea got to throw a spanner.
Chelsea ain't throwing no spanner, man. The only spanner they're throwing, mate, is held in another 3 points, man. You know what I mean?
If we can't beat that Chelsea, I watched that game today. And listen, they couldn't even touch City's B team. If we can't beat that Chelsea, we don't deserve top 4. We don't deserve it. Because they are horrendous.
The thing is, we don't need to beat Chelsea. We need to draw.
We want top 4 and City win a treble. I'm going to find a desert island.
We're not going to blow. And that's one thing I tell fans all the time as well. You hear all the theatrical conversations especially from rivals about us in top 4. And look where we're at now. A point away with 2 games, and everybody shut up about it just because we lost.
I'm saying it's done. You know what I say?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about you. That's the point. Is I was saying beforehand, even when we lost, you know what I'm saying, the 2 games back to back, so top 4, are you gonna bottle it? Right? Look at the games we still had to remain. Look at the games. Yeah. Bear in mind, the majority were at home, and then add on top. Look at the teams we're playing. All the teams we're playing are not fighting for anything. If we're facing teams challenging for the league, challenging for a European spot, battling relegation, and it was away from home, then it's more of a conversation. We're playing Bournemouth away. We're playing Fulham at home, Chelsea at home. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, we always draw against Chelsea anyway.
Brighton, Matt, win the last 2 games, and Liverpool go into the Europa Conference.
Yeah, I know.
There's always a silver lining.
Yep. 2 things I want to say before we go as well. It's an absolute travesty that Ten Hag's not been put in manager of the season, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
He's definitely one of the top 6 managers in this league this season. I don't care the way where he's taken Manchester United from last season to this season. He deserves to be there. Also, I asked this question again months ago that if Arsenal didn't win the league, have United had a better season than Arsenal? If we get top 4 on Thursday, we have had a better season than Arsenal. Yes. I've had Arsenal fans at me yesterday trying to tell me no, this, and this. Manchester United have had a better season than Arsenal. Trophy, top 4. You've all got top 4. You may as well have come 4th. It doesn't really matter.
Because you know what it is? Arsenal fans ain't used to trophies. That's why. They don't value trophies. You can't value something you've never had. You telling me lobsters, not all that, and you've never had it. Like, that's what it is with Arsenal. The majority of their fans have not seen success. It's like when they try shit on the Carabao Cup. I'm like, if you're 20-something, let's say you're mid-20s or younger, that's the second biggest trophy your club's ever won. You've never seen your team win a Premier League. Arsenal in Europe, we know all about. So the Carabao Cup is the second biggest trophy. So the way that I'm not hearing you lot shit on it. I'm saying the same when Liverpool fans try. You lot did a parade.
Tottenham Hotspur, 2 Carabao Cups in 25 years.
Yeah, it's like let's not do that. We're defo. fourth, and potentially because we could potentially finish third. By the way, people, even though I think Newcastle
third,
will win
that's what I'm
both their
saying.
games,
Yeah.
but even over it's fourth off, if we're fourth or third with a trophy, that's better than second with no trophy. It's not about like what's this run? What is this runners up thing? I don't know where this started. What is this thing with being Luigi that everyone's? I don't know if it's the Liverpool lot because of what they happened with Manchester City
Yeah.
being grand runners up. I'm saying there's no statue of anyone outside any stadium for being runners up. Someone show me around the museum where you see a silver medal.
No one remembers. No one
Yeah.
remembers second. That's what he was
Well,
saying to me as well. Like, who's going to remember you winning a Carabao Cup? The history books, my friend. The
Yeah,
history books.
who's gonna remember you
Exactly.
lot finishing second? saying?
No one. No
Who is
one.
No, nobody, man.
All,
Nobody
all you
else.
are is you're just the first loser. That's all you
Yeah,
are.
facts.
to be
Who
fair.
cares about who cares about Robin? You know what I'm saying? Batman got how many films? Where's Robin?
Yep,
What are you
exactly,
doing, man?
exactly. But no, listen, man, it's been a good show, man. We've just literally an hour flew by, man. So big
Wow.
up to everybody who's locked in, man. Make sure you like the video. We're on 385 likes. Let's get up to 500 before the end of the show. There's still 1,000 people here, so make sure we get to that number. It's been a good one, man. Sunday Unfiltered podcast, man. I'm telling you, every Sunday 9 p.m. We're always here. We give you the latest lowdown on Man United, and like I said, it's unfiltered, so you don't know what you're gonna hear, what you're gonna see. What you're gonna, it's all a madness. It's called Mad in the Dun. You're in it, so that's what we do, man. Big up to the community. Big up to Talking Kit, Double A, man. It's good to see you, man. Are you there on Thursday? Yeah.
Of course, mate. Yeah, I'll be there
Yeah.
for the last two games. Can't miss it. Got a spur on the boys. It's been a good season. You know, we talk about all the stuff that's gone on with the Glazers and how the season's tailing off. Let's not forget it's been a great season for Manchester United, and it's just nice to go to Old Trafford again, as you all know. Go and watch them, and actually excited to go and watch the team, and that's what we've been for the most of the season. So these next two games, I can't wait to see the boys off, and I'm going to be at Wembley as well, so that's even better. So
There you go.
but no, yeah, Double A, Talking Kit. If you like your football shirts, obviously I've got the boy Casa Hero there. First time I wore it yesterday, went and scored, so you can thank me for the win. You know what I'm saying? But no, if you're into your kits, you're into your shirts, head over to Talking Kit on YouTube. We're the best around for football shirts. We're main two shows we do. Desert Island kits. Sit down with a kit collector and go through 5 shirts from their collection.
I'm gonna have to do a photo shoot at your factory, mate. Like I said,
Whenever you want to come round, mate. They'll welcome you with open arms. And you, Saeed. You have to.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. I'm gonna head down the summer. Definitely.
100%. I want some retro shirts. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
man.
going to shout you.
Let's
out.
fly down. Obviously, and full kit rankers. What's that? Flawless.
That's with the R people, not W.
There you go.
Yeah.
Best show on YouTube, though, to be fair. Wednesdays. But go over there, go and subscribe. I don't know how many in the chat, but listen.
900.
Go subscribe when you look. Go subscribe.
Go and get me to
subscribe.
1,000. I'm not on 1,000 yet, so you need to go and get me to 1,000, guys. It's a bit of a joke, to be fair. I do enough on this channel. You need to go back over there.
Exactly.
But big up the chat. Big up you three, because it's a pleasure to be in your company every Sunday for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Flawless, man. I know you're going to be live later on, man. Big up to you, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. I always big up for having me. As always, large up the chat, big up Double A, Andy every single time. And that's me, Flawless people on Twitter and Instagram. And that's me, Flawless. And then Sarcasm City TV on YouTube and the Twitch. Like Saeed just mentioned, we'll be live later on midnight, Sarcasm City Sports Q&A, where we just answer all your sporting questions. Then 1:30 a.m. we'll be live on the Twitch because for NBA basketball fans, NBA playoffs is going on right now. So Eastern Conference Game 3. The Heat versus the Celtics, so we'll be doing that on the Twitch, and then as always on the YouTube and the Twitch live every day football content. Obviously Manchester United, but also covering the other big 6 clubs: your Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, Manchester City, plus more. So make sure you check it out, people. Sarcasm City TV on YouTube and Twitch, closing in on 6,500 on the YouTube, and just hit 3,000 followers on the Twitch as well. So big up to all you lot.
Big up, man. Come on, man.
Love,
big up
man.
to you, man.
Love.
Always, man. Always. Andy, big up to you, mate. Are you there on Thursday then?
no, unfortunately, I'm working, but I will be there on a
No worries.
Sunday. Hey, what you say is what it is. Thank you, Sky Sports, for messing up my week. So you could
There
have
you
had,
go.
you could have had the United game on a Wednesday, but thank you, Sky Sports. You do what you do best. Fuck up my week, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But you
Hopefully
you
next year there'll be a lot of Saturday kickoff, so no more this Sunday bullshit.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturdays, buzzing.
There you go.
We've only had three o'clocks this season. Come back to me in 15 years in a pub quiz and ask me then, and I'll nail it straight on there.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Big up to everybody here, man. Make sure you like the video on your way out. I'll be back tomorrow. Lee Gunner and Lee from LB from City Extra. So I'll see you then, people. But for now, enjoy the rest of the evening wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Peace.